welcome again to WeAwake. And if you're first time here, great to feel you. And it's a time where we come together and we use an iAwake track and we meditate together because it's cool to meditate together. And yeah, it creates a field. You can feel the difference than meditating alone and meditating with other people. Both are highly recommended, but here's where we do it together. So today we are going to listen to a track called Journey to the Depths of the Soul, track 1, which is a soul awakening. So this is entrainment music or sound that's created by Joseph Kao, and also the guided meditation. This is one that has a guided meditation with it. So it's training your brain at the same time you're going through this powerful guided meditation. And Joe is he's a master hypnotherapist in Britain, England, as it were, London, if we want to get specific. And that is a licensing thing they have in the UK, apparently. So he takes that vast experience of his and talking to people into deeper states and adds it. He's very gifted at creating this music also. And I always have to add in, which I think is way cool, he's a Shakespearean actor. So not only he has all that stuff going for him, he has this wonderful voice that really transmit, and it's just a beautiful voice. So bam, that's what we're going to do. And this is a journey to help us get in touch with our soul, that special essence of who we are. That is the I, that is the you, that is more than just the normal ego personality self that's created by our history, our memories, our stories, etc. That we think this is who I am. So when we I mean, that's all well and good, but when we get beyond that, we get to the depths of the soul, and boy, then all sorts of interesting things starts happening, and that individuality eventually, or at some point, it's very mysterious, connects us to the unitive experience of the all. Okay, so strap on your meditation seatbelts and get ready for the dive. This is like, it's only 20 minutes and 3 seconds to be exact. So without further ado, let's journey to the center of our souls. Sit up straight, deeply relax, let the tension go, and let's rock and roll.
Take a few moments right now to settle back and to settle down inside. Get a sense of sinking down inside yourself. A little bit more with each and every out-breath. Allow your breathing to be smooth and flowing, letting each breath be as smooth as silk. And allow yourself to be present with that which is present. You can allow the muscles of the face to soften, and you can relax the little muscles around the eyes. You can allow the jaw muscles to loosen, and you can allow the shoulders to release. Letting a sense of comfortable heaviness flow down through the arms.
Welcome back, and thank you, Joe. And thank you, universe, for birthing Joe. Anyway, that's very powerful. And I found my mind trying to wander off. Okay. And journey to the center of the soul. What is the soul? It's a great question. I'm engaged in a process right now with the teacher and writer A.H. Almas. And we have, so to put it up there, so we got this award from YouTube because our podcast, Deep Transformation, just went over 100,000 subscribers. So which is kind of amazing. I mean, at least Roger and I think so. So Roger Walsh, who's my co-host. So anyway, we've been in this process of having conversations with Hamid, or A.H. Almas. And in his work, the soul figures very importantly. And the soul is a lot of things, but it also it seems to be your essential, most real individual self. And Hamid calls it a pearl beyond price. And I left home at a very young age and hit the road, and I was hit the road looking for my soul, just kind of a classic story. And yeah, I found it, and sometimes I lose touch with it. And so I think it's very important that we kind of acknowledge what that is. And one time when I was thinking about it, I was like, what the soul? I mean, people have been writing and talking about it for thousands of years. and there must be some reason. And I had to pick these two circles, and there's this Venn diagram, where the two circles meet. And in that moment, I understood that the soul was a place where your individual self connects with the big self, the great mystery, the absolute God, where these two parts come together, where the individual and the unitive are both co-emergent. And yeah, and the soul is, I mean, we're talking about the soul, so it's the thing you can talk about, but the experience of the soul is an experience. It's not an intellectual idea. There's nothing wrong with intellectual ideas. A lot of times when you've read a lot of books about spirituality and everything, then you have one of these luminous experiences. Oh, it really helps that you know, heard about what other people have experienced, so you don't think you're losing your mind. Like, oh, okay, that's what's happening. So, um, we can cultivate that experience of the soul by doing soulful things, uh, sitting in silence, meditation, inner prayer, uh, immersing ourselves in nature, music, the creative act, creating art, creating music, writing, whatever it is. And the powerful sense of that something deeper than our normal self is coming through. I think we can also kill our contact with the soul by doing this, 12 hours a day or however long you do it. Pam told me there's a term for it called doom scrolling, you know, and you finished, and everything's addictive and everything is made to take, look and clickbait and all this thing. It's all, psychologically developed to get your attention. But then you finish, and you feel really wrung out and drained and empty. And yeah, that is a soul disconnecting. I won't say killing because I don't think you can kill it. But Jesus said, "What shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world, all this stuff and technology, and and lose his own soul? To lose that connection with the soul. So that has something to be. And if you don't know what it is, you kind of have to look for it. Try to discover the soul. That's a very noble and useful quest. And I think sometimes when we don't know what to do, we have to kind of hold the question um, and wait for the guidance to emerge. A guidance that's, beyond just our big, beautiful human brains and, our linear cognitive thinking. And obviously, if you're in a burning building and there's a child in there and you're supposed to run in there and rescue the child or whoever, you're not, I'll sit and wait for my soul, no. Sometimes you have to act, but sometimes we do have time. And for me, it's coming up uh, with the with our political situation in this country and the world. And I won't name names to protect the guilty. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to to resist it. And sometimes uh, unwise resistance or unsoulful resistance can just like adding gasoline to the fire. It just helps whatever you're trying to deal with just get worse. And I'm kind of at that state now. And I'm pretty sure my soul has told me to resist, right? But I don't know what that means. Resistance can be, you know, heading to the streets, protesting, get involved in politics, calling your Congress people, whatever it might be. Or it can be just becoming very deeply yourself, and getting in touch with your soul and transmitting that energy out into the world in some sense, being real with people, being compassionate to people, helping people, being of service. And, sometimes Jesus said, turn the other cheek, right? Wow. And sometimes that's the right thing to do, but sometimes it's not. Uh, and what is the right, soulful, virtuous thing to do? And I think it was Aristotle. The Greeks were very, very connected to the soul. And he said, virtue is doing what is appropriate. Okay. So it's not just set rules, what to do, what not to do. Like if there's, is it good to tell the truth? Of course, to be honest. Right. Is there a time to lie? Well, yes. Uh, the Nazis come by and says, have you seen any Jews? And they're hanging out, hiding upstairs. You don't go, nine. How about keinen gesehen? And they run on their little way. And that's when that's appropriate to do at the time. Uh, quick little story. One time I was leading a group of young people, young men out in the wilderness, and they were near the Henry Mountains where they actually have a buffalo hunt. There's the largest free roaming buffalo herd in the world. And so people get a lottery and they get permission to go on the buffalo hunt. And we were sitting out there in this kind of plain above before the mountain, and we saw this buffalo go boom, 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 boom in front of us. We're going, wow. And this hunter, a couple of hunters drove up on their ATVs, and said, "Have you seen a buffalo?" And spontaneously went all the way, "Yeah." He went that way, and they go off that way. So he had this spontaneous lie to protect the buffalo, which I thought was pretty awesome. So that was kind of a gathered soulful moment. So yeah, and back to the soul. How do you know? Sometimes action is not doing anything. Wu wei, right? Doing by not doing. So it is it is mysterious, and it is worth um, searching for and discovering, because it connects you with who you really are and what you are and what is your essence and how does that connect to everything. And then how do we move and act in this embodied world in our historical time. And yeah, that's soul. And some people know exactly what I'm talking about, and some people not quite there yet, or maybe. But George Washington Carver, a great American scientist and inventor, he was asked one time, "How do you know so much about so much?" He invented all these things. This is back, I think, the late 1800s, around that time, if I'm not mistaken. And he said, if you give yourself in love to what it is you're focusing on, it will reveal itself to you. So if you give yourself in love to discover, experience, to know your soul and its guidance, it will reveal itself to you. You know, it's important to ask the right questions. You know, and it's important to know what you don't know. And getting back, Jesus says, "Seek and you shall find; knock and it shall be open to you." You know, so there, he's talking about the kingdom of heaven, whatever that is, that mystery, that absolute mystery. And he also said another one, same sermon, same mount. He said, "Blessed are they who hunger and thirst after righteousness," i.e., the soul, i.e., that essential essence, for they shall be filled. So if you have that hunger, keep searching, keep giving yourself in passion and love and honest doubt and honest not knowing and honest searching. And people a lot smarter than me say you'll find it. So yeah, keep uh, giving space for soul discovery and soul connection. Uh, Take walks in the wilderness or whatever nature, whatever you have near where you are. Um, Put your phone on airplane mode or put it on an airplane or something. Just turn off from that for a while, and that's helpful. Listen to B.B. King, the Beatles, maybe Bob Dylan, or the whole generation discovering Bob Dylan, the new biopic. So anyway, these are people who I think were in touch with their soul and gifted us, and we all have that same capacity. So I will be quiet now and stop talking. So thank you and God bless. See you next time, hopefully.